What's going on? What's going on, everyone who is watching this show right now? Hey guys, welcome to the next show, which is called the Nikhil Sai Show, which is hosted by me, the Nikhil Sai. Guess what's going on today? I'm excited. I'm super excited for this specific interview because I'm having an energy ball on this podcast episode today. You cannot resist yourself. You cannot stop yourself pumping up after listening to this podcast episode. I can promise you on that part. So, guess who I've got on this show right now? I've got a number one real estate entrepreneur turned into coaching business and helping thousands, if I'm not wrong, hundreds of thousands of real estate agents get more clarity on their business and build digital systems online in 2021. One of the craziest internet entrepreneurs I've ever met. 7 times 2 comma club award winner, 2 times 2 comma X winner, multiple seven-figure business owner. And let's not waste any time giving away introduction, and let's ask the girl itself about her introduction. So let's not waste any time and welcome Krista Mashore, CEO at Krista Mashore Coaching. Hey, Krista.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Only a 2CCX winner, not 2, just 1.
Oh, okay. I just know for a fact that you're already building that momentum with your 2CC 2X, right? So excited for that. Absolutely, Krista. Absolutely. So, Krista, thank you so much for joining on time and super excited for this specific interview today. So let's not waste any time, Krista, and super excited to hear your backstory, like crazy journey, like how did all this started?
So I don't just coach real estate. We actually coach local professionals and entrepreneurs as well. We started out just coaching real estate agents. I was a teacher for 6 years and then got into the real estate industry about 20 years ago, kind of by default. My daughter got sick, and so I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and sort of play real estate. And very shortly thereafter, my husband at the time, I found out was having an affair. So we ended up going through a pretty rough divorce. And then, so I had to just go all in with real estate. So I ended up selling 69 homes my first year in the real estate industry, and kind of never looked back since. And about 3.5 years ago, not quite 3.5 years ago, but just short of 3.5 years, I decided to start coaching other real estate agents and teaching them how to utilize digital marketing and social media to dominate their industry. So that's it.
That's amazing. So it's really going to the least point of your time and just bouncing back to the next yourself, right? Which is pretty amazing. And we constantly see a huge problem in the industry, specifically, Krista, which is real estate. Everyone have it a complaint, which is it's saturated. It's very competitive right now. So you as a real estate entrepreneur, the number one real estate entrepreneur, always top 1%. So some secret sauce of how to make it out, how to stand out of the competition, right? So what would be your take on how to really stand out of the rest of the competition in real estate market currently?
You just have to do things differently. And I know that sounds pretty easy, but I remember when I first got in the industry, I would look at what people were doing and I would try to do it differently or to do what they were doing better. So for example, this is a really easy thing, but people back in the day when they would list a house, they would do black and white flyers, right? 1-page flyers. And so I did 4-page colored brochures, and I'd stick the CD on the actual sign with 50 pictures on the CD that they could stick in their computer. And I also would list my homes on television. I'd invested in having my homes be on commercials, right? So, I'm sorry. I was just constantly trying to just do things differently than everyone else was to stand out. And so that's kind of what helped me get my unique competitive edge.
Wow. And that's really fundamentals of any business, right? You just need to try where people are not hanging out and just go there and get attention. And I think that's the right way to do it. And absolutely, Krista. So let's get to the next quick question. A lot of people, when they come into real estate, they really struggle with leads, right? They just need how can I get these leads, right? So in 2021, what do you think is the best way to generate buyers and sellers leads in 2021?
So the very best way for anyone to get leads, in my opinion, is to create as much video content as you can, to properly distribute that content, and then to make sure you're paying attention to what people are actually clicking on, right? So for example, if I'm doing a seller post, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to funnel them down into my funnel to a seller funnel, right? So for example, right now, one of the problems that people are having is there's not a lot of inventory. So I was create a lot of content regarding not being able to sell your home, and you're worried that you won't be able to find a replacement property. So people that are watching those videos, I know most likely are interested in selling. And so then I'll funnel them down to show them more content on selling, more information, continue to nurture them. And then I'll land them into my funnels where I'm going to ask them to give me their name and their address and their phone number in exchange for a market analysis or for to go to a seller seminar or something like that. Most people start at the top, they start there. And so we don't start there. We start by first putting our content out there, giving value, breaking down barriers, getting people to know us, like us, and trust us, establishing ourselves as the authority figure. And then later on down the line, requesting their contact information. And most people do it the opposite, right? They ask for their contact information right away. And people are, they're not as likely to want to give it to you because they're nervous and they don't know who you are. So we kind of reverse engineer that process.
Absolutely. And I really see you are on point on this. Like literally a lot of real estate entrepreneurs or coaches, especially, they just try to complicate it. Yeah, do this, do that, do funnels, emails, automation, all that's crazy. But what you just made is so simple. Like literally everyone who's watching this right now can just go and implement this within a couple of hours. Krista, that's beautiful right there. Thank you so much for that quick tip. So Krista, like when it comes to being a real estate entrepreneur or running a real estate business, it's really hard for someone to be so techie, right? So to constantly do follow-ups, to have systems in place. So as you are one of the top real estate entrepreneur, like what are your recommendations when it comes to using the right CRM systems and processes in a business?
So believe it or not, a lot of people don't have a CMA, right? Like a CRM. I'm sorry, a CRM. So what we've done is we've created our own CRM. So now I have my own software that we've developed, and which has like it's a transaction management software. It's a CRM. It is a lead generator. It does everything, right? Wow. All in one. And so the nice thing about that is it keeps you organized. We've got all of our workflows in there: buyer workflows, seller workflows, buyer campaigns, seller campaigns. And I mean, when you're generating a lot of leads, so many people are always wanting, like, I want leads. We don't want leads. We want conversions. So
exactly.
So when we bring people down our funnel, we're able to really, pay more attention to the hot leads because we can tell what they've done prior because they've gone through our systems. We've tagged them appropriately. So now we know like what kind of content we should be putting in front of them. We segment that content. Not everyone's getting the exact same content, right? Sellers are getting seller content, buyers are getting buyer content. Past clients are getting, nurturing type campaigns. And so that, having the right systems really, really helps with that.
Absolutely. And really, it really boils down to the same thing you mentioned. It's not about having a million leads of potential buyers, but it's about how many conversions you're having in the end of the day, right? Because I've seen a lot of real estate agents who have tens of thousands of leads with almost zero conversions in the month end, right? Which is crazy enough.
Yeah. And the leads, the online leads for real estate the conversions are like less than 2%. I mean, you buy lead sources from Zillow or Realtor.com or these different places, and they don't convert well because number one, they're selling these leads to multiple people. The people don't know you. And so with our strategy, the conversions are much, much higher. Our email open rate's really, really high. Oh, my dog is trying to, what you doing?
Yep.
No, sorry. Okay. The conversions are much, much higher because the people know who we are and we developed a relationship with them and we've established ourselves as the authority. So they're much more likely to say, hey, I want what you have. So it's very, very helpful.
Exactly. And that's the right point right there, Krista. That's really amazing. And I hope do you have any resources where the people who are watching this show can actually go and check out your CRM? Do you have any offer for that?
Yeah. So, we just honestly, the CRM has just been launched in the past 30 days. So right now we only have our students that we're allowing to use it. We do have an awesome 2-day live event that we can, it's a 2 days live of coaching with me, 10 hours a day. And we have one coming up actually 2 weeks from today. I think it's May 24th and 25th is when it is. And if you go to KristaMashore.com/2days live, that's KristaMashore.com/2days live, the number 2 days live. You can opt into that. And it's so much value. It's over $10,000 worth of coaching and content and stuff for just $97.
Wow, that's really amazing. So kind of you. And I'll also put the link in the description, guys. If anyone really wants to join, don't think twice, just go for it. You'll definitely have the right systems in place because you really learn the top stuff of how to create digital real estate business. And Krista, like a lot of people in real estate, they want to do more, they want to make more, right? Like always, number one question which I hear from people, this is a non-demanding question, like how to close extra deals per month, like in a nutshell, like how to really close extra deals per month?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, last year we sold 90 homes, which for me is not, a lot. Usually we sell like 150, 160 homes a year, but I coach 99% of the time. So last year, this one strategy resulted in 48 seller transactions. So we sold 88, but from this one strategy, we closed 48 seller transactions. And it's basically, we start with creating content regarding solving a problem, whatever problem that there is in the market, right? And we focused on sellers all last year. We still are, because the lack of inventory, want sellers. And then creating videos, sending videos to a specific, city, right? And then people will start to watch those videos. We can then tell who's watching those videos. We then retarget those people more seller content. And then we ask if they would like home analysis. Once we get the home analysis request, then what we do is we drop a CMA off at their house. We drop it off at their house. We then also drop off a marketing plan. We drop off a book called The Savvy Seller, How to Sell Your Home for More Money and for the best terms. We then go back. We then do a bomb video. And we say, hey, check your email. We're going to be doing a video like explaining what this CMA is about. Then we go home and we actually do a video breaking down what the CMA was. 3 or 4 minutes long, super easy. Then we email a digital copy of the book. We email a digital copy of the marketing plan. And then we send a 17-minute long pre-listing presentation video. And like that right there alone resulted in 48 seller transactions just from targeting people and bringing them into our funnel, right? They're going into our funnel, our What's My Home Worth funnel. And that's kind of the deal. It's all about creating content, being top of mind, offering value, serving, not selling, just being that go-to trusted resource and being willing to go the extra mile, because most people are not willing to do all those extra steps, right? They'll just email something and that's it. But we then follow it up by all those. And I'll give you an example. I don't go on listing presentations anymore. My brother does. But on Friday, he was like, please, will you go, Krista? Please, sis, please go. These people really want to meet you. So I ended up going with him, and it ended up turning into 3 seller presentations because he talked me into going to the next one. And at the next one, there was another seller that was in the house, and she's like, oh, my friend wants to sell. And so I told her to come on over. And all 3 of them had read my book. And so I had dropped my book off, and they go, oh, we already got that. You dropped that off, a while ago. So they had all, so, most people are not willing, number one, to write a book. Number two, they're not willing to get the books printed and then deliver them. I delivered 22,000 books in my city, basically. And so for free.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But one of those listings, if we just get one, which we'll get all 3, but if we just get one, the commission from one of those listings will be double than what it cost me to get the books printed, delivered.
There you go.
So it's worth it.
Absolutely, Krista. Like I really see, like that's what really you're doing, completely different from other people. Like people are just constantly trying to sell in the front end and never care about the customer experience in the back end. But now you are literally like giving away everything upfront and showing them genuinely what you've got to see if they're a good fit with your business. And really, like the strategy is so amazing. You're giving so much stuff that they could never resist to speak to you, right? They'll just be your fan, just like that, right? In a snap, which is amazing. So
we call it winning before you arrive. I learned that from Sharon Servatis. He always says you want to win before you arrive, and so that's we're already are winning before we arrive, and it's the same strategy with any marketing company, any digital marketer, any entrepreneur out there. It's you've got to develop people's trust, right? When people finally get on the phone and call you, and if they've consumed enough of your content, they've already made up their decision. You've already, like I always say, you're on a job interview. Anything and everything that you do or put out there online is a representation of how you do business. So you're on a job interview all the time. So you want to make sure that you're you're remembering that. And when each time you do one little thing, it's just in the customer's mind, it's like, oh, that's what how it's going to be when they actually work with me. So they start to really, really develop trust. And then before you even show up to their front door, they've already decided to hire you.
Absolutely. And that pre-selling can really help any business to remove all the hassle and all the crazy stuff going around, all the missing pieces, right? Figure out themselves when you have qualified people on appointments, which is
absolutely.
Absolutely, Krista. So yeah, let's get into the next question. Like a lot of real estate agents, they have these leads and all this crazy stuff. They just don't have a right follow-up system. So like in a nutshell, like what do you think is a perfect follow-up system, like a sequence of actions which you personally follow to sell?
Well, one of them I just sort of told you about, right? So that, I mean, that, you bring them in your funnel and the steps I just told you, that is one a great example of doing the right sequence of events to convert. Another thing that we do is after we send them through our funnel where they ask for the home evaluation, then we send testimonial videos to them both through email, and we target them on Facebook. We also send marketing examples to them via email and through Facebook for the retargeting. And then we're continuing to nurture. So they're continuing to get nurturing videos on the real estate market, on, market updates and the such. So that's kind of, that's our strategy. That's what we do. And then
yeah, exactly. There's nothing like secret sauce. Yeah. Absolutely. It's about keeping things simple and keeping things on point, right? So that really can resonate with your exact list of emails, right? So let's get to the next question, Krista. Like I really wonder, you get a lot of stuff done in a very quick time frame. So like doing all these interviews, being featured on Funnel Hacking Live again, and getting your awards and running your business, coaching people, impacting lives, giving away jobs, which is crazy. So I wonder, like, what kind of tools and systems you have in your place to manage your projects and your productivity?
So we obviously have multiple funnels. So our funnels, we've done, six funnels, $1 million funnels, and we've gotten our 2 CCX awards. So funnels are amazing. We also utilize an amazing CRM software. I'm not going to name what it is. We use a great CRM software that sends out emails to people on a regular basis. We always make sure that those emails are value driven. So, and we find that if we don't do enough value, our open rates are a lot less. So we have high value driven emails with the call to action at the end. Anytime we're doing an event like our 2-day event or our free challenge, we're always promoting that as well in conjunction with adding value, but it's value at all times. I'm so sorry. I keep yawning. I don't know why. It's so
no
crazy.
Problem.
I apologize. I'm usually like 1,000,000 miles an hour, but for some reason today I'm tired. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But so we have a great CRM software that we use, and we have our funnels. We have a great team members on our team. Everyone has SOPs written for everyone's job description. We have local people both in the United States and also in the Philippines, which our Philippines team members are exactly the same as our people in the U.S. They're treated no differently whatsoever. And yeah, I mean, things are, we're working hard.
Absolutely, Krista. And that really can help everyone who's watching this to get more in detail on how the systems and processes work. So Krista, like you get a lot of stuff done day in, day out. Would you like to mention like what kind of daily routine you follow for yourself?
Yeah. So, that's one of the things that Russell always, and the inner circle always says is like, oh my God, you're such a major implementer. You get so much done. You're so good at implementation. And, every day I follow this. So this right here is my daily routine. And what it looks like is I visualize myself succeeding. I show gratitude every day, focus on the things that I'm thankful for and grateful for. I write out 6 things I'm going to get done, and I time block them as far as how long it will take me. I try to do around 6 hours a day. I usually work around 10 hours a day, but 6 of those hours are blocked for specific activities. And then the other 4 are for the things that just come up, right? And kind of getting things done. And then at the end of the evening, I celebrate my successes, what I did correct. And I try to time block my day the night before for the next day. I read my manifesto every day. Here's my manifesto. I read this every single day, right? This gets read and by me. And I try to always do one random act of kindness every single day for somebody. So like, for example, this could be considered a random act of kindness, right? I'm interviewing on here and just trying to add value. So now I can check off my pay it forward box for the day. So that's consists of my day. I'm very, very much a mindset person. I'm always, reading, listening to books on mindset and what you get, what you think. And so I absolutely constantly am putting in good thoughts in my brain and thinking about good, positive things. It's huge visualization as far as visualizing. In fact, it's so funny. I've been wanting to speak on Funnel Hacking Live stage, and I went 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went and bought a pair of shoes. And and I was interviewed on the Funnel Hacking Live radio show, and Russell pops in at the end. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to call you tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh my God, well, I just bought like the day before these shoes that I'm visualizing myself wearing on Funnel Hacking Live. And then the next day he asked me to speak at Funnel Hacking Live. So it was really, really cool.
Exciting. And that's really exciting. And we're excited to see you on the Funnel Hacking Lab stage as well. And like the manifestation you were trying yourself, it really works. And it just came back to you like a boomerang, right? Which is amazing again. Absolutely, Krista. And that's really amazing. That's really amazing. Like your day routine is so clean and just straight to the point. And I really understand the depth in your concept of mindset. It's like you should win your mind first, then only you can achieve that in your reality. Right. And you're just doing that. You're constantly working on your mindset. You just walk on the stage in your dreams. Then you're just walking in the coming September. Let's do it. Awesome. Yeah. And Krista, like you've been into this business from a long time, right? So you got a lot of suggestions for your young you, right? So what will be your number one suggestion for a 20-year-old you or someone who is just getting started right now?
I think it would just be to believe that anything is possible, right? I mean, like I've always had a really good belief system. So in fact, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, there's 16 traits that successful people have, and they all had these same 16 traits. And the cool thing about them was that he learned that they could be taught, and you can learn these traits. One of those is belief. And I think, like, I always knew I was going to do really, really well in life, but I wish I would have just had even more belief and like not doubted myself so much. And quite frankly, I wish I didn't work so hard. Like I worked so much and so hard and so long in real estate for so many years. And yes, it definitely paid off. And now I don't have to really work as hard as I did then. I can have more family time and all that, but you can't take it with you, if that makes sense. And I wish that I'd been more present, and kind of enjoying the journey of where I was at more. I'm 50 years old, almost becoming this summer, and I'm learning to like enjoy the ride, if that makes sense, and just appreciate what's happening as it's happening and to kind of take it in. And I think that is something that I would have done more often, more early.
Yeah,
enjoy
absolutely,
the ride.
Yeah, and we really see like a lot of entrepreneurs who still, in that hustle mode, still are in the same state. They're like just like yada. They're just constantly pushing themselves and getting through the burnouts, but not really enjoying the present moment, which you just mentioned. They should be actually looking at what's going on in their life, live their present life, and actually strive for the next future, which is awesome again. Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into the next question, Krista. You've done so much so far. So let's get into like your biggest achievement so far and any next bigger goals.
Yeah, so I think our monetarily, we've done $15 million in under 3.5 years using ClickFunnels. So that's probably my big financial achievement. Yeah, considering I was a teacher. I taught third grade for 6 years, and I made $60,000 as a teacher with a master's degree, and working for a year. Now I can make that in less than a half a day, and it's insane. The fact that we could do that in less than a half a day. But I mean, again, it's the 20 years of work before, right? It's not just like all of a sudden. I mean,
fundamentals.
It's the fundamentals of learning what we learned for so long, and just really, really not giving up. Crazy enough, back when Corona happened, we were at a 6-week burn rate, which meant that we would have been out of business in 6 weeks had we not made some adjustments and made some changes. And we completely revamped what we were doing, how we were doing it. We actually got rid of our entire sales team. 2 of my highest leaders in the company ended up starting their own business, kind of in competition with what I was in the middle of creating. It was crazy stuff. And most people probably would have given up, and we just like put it behind us. We moved forward, we adapted, we changed, we modified, and we're like more profitable than we've ever been this past 5-6 months. We've really, really found a way to be profitable. And sometimes those things that you were so worried about that seem like they're like just the worst thing that ever could happen end up being the best thing that ever could happen, right? And so that's been kind of nice. As far as my achievement, I love helping people, and I'm just really good at it. And so it's so nice to see other people's lives being changed, both monetarily and personally, not just professionally, when you're coaching them. And I'm really, really proud of that, the fact that I've made several millionaires myself from coaching, and I've helped people that aren't happy, like really like love life again. And so I think that's probably my very biggest achievement. Of course, being a mom is wonderful and being a wife and all that, but that's kind of a given, right? So yeah.
Absolutely, Krista, and that's really beautiful. Like what you just mentioned, it's amazing that you're literally changing people's life like crazy. Like you can just look at the transformation and be so grateful and understand the purpose of why we're actually here, right? And it really inspires us for the next tomorrow, right? Which is amazing. So far, Krista, you've been into this business from a long time. So what was your biggest mistakes in life so far?
I get asked that a lot. I mean, I've screwed up so many times. Gosh, probably the biggest mistake was not realizing sooner that I needed to be just as good of a leader within my company as I was on the outside of my company, if that makes sense. So I think for a while I was expecting too much from people, and I was focusing too much on things that weren't working well. And right around when Corona hit, I realized that I had to really change my management style, because like all my students love me, but my own employees were like nervous to come talk to me. And I was like, what do you mean? I didn't understand how I was leading, and I wasn't leading the right way. And so I completely changed the way that I lead. My goal was to make sure that, all of my employees, team members was what I called them, absolutely loved working with me, and that they loved their job. And so I'm at a point, and a year and a half ago, it wasn't like that. And now it is. So I think, I should have realized that sooner. It's just how to manage people better, and to lead with love and lead with appreciation, because that has absolutely changed my business.
Absolutely. And we're grateful to hear that story. And we really see constantly this is happening in every business, day in, day out. I can tell you for a fact, like 5 out of 10 businesses still have this problem of not having right communication with the top management to the actual employees who execute things, right? And this real gap can collapse the business like crazy if this is lasting for long. And you fixed it finally. Absolutely, Krista. So let's get to the next quick question. Like, any main people involved in your success and inspiration you took from?
Oh gosh, yes. Russell Brunson, he's my mentor, and I absolutely, saw him on a webinar and took the plunge, paid 25 grand and hired him, and paid him again the next year. It was the best thing that I ever did. He has been amazing. I love reading books like Cybergenetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, Millionaires Success Habits by Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins. There's just, so many different people. Mel Robbins, I love her. Jen Sincero, I'm a Badass. Like, I've read all of these type of books, and I continue to read them on a regular basis, and they help change the way that my brain thinks, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so I love that kind of stuff. So
Absolutely. And we really see like everyone who you're listening to are at a whole another level, and you just need to understand who you're surrounding yourself with, right? That can really help you build the fundamentals of your business to make it so strong that it's never going to collapse itself, right? You can't even destruct it. It will be that strong if you just get your fundamentals right. That's
absolutely
awesome, Krista. So let's get to the next question, Krista. You're so amazing. Like, you're so amazing when it comes to coaching, finding the purpose of life, building a business, scaling it up, having the right systems in place. So I wonder, where can our audience find you mentoring?
Yeah, so the best place, what I would say to start is to go to the 2-day event. Again, if you just go to KristaMashore.com/2days live, KristaMashore.com/2days live, you'll get 20 hours of coaching with me. We do a ton of mindset, definite specific strategies and tactics. Even if you're not in real estate, I know it will help. We're now coaching not just real estate agents, but we're coaching local businesses and professionals and how to utilize digital marketing and social media and video to dominate their markets. And so it is a little bit heavier on the real estate portion of it, but you can take what we're teaching in real estate and kind of use the idea and the philosophies for anything. So that's how you can get in touch with me.
Absolutely. I'm going to drop the link in the comment section, guys, and just go for it. 2-day live event, 20 hours of content with Krista. It's going to be a rocking game for sure. And it's going to be like a life-changing opportunity if you just take action. That's awesome, Krista. And any last words before we conclude the whole podcast episode?
Yeah, just that, learning is great, but if you don't implement, nothing happens. Like, you've got to be an action taker. Money likes speed. The quicker that you take action, the better. When you listen to something, or you have that thought or that feeling, go for it. So many people are getting ready, they're aiming, but they never fire. They're trying to be perfect and do everything right. Well, first of all, even when you are perfect, it's never going to be right? You're always going to make mistakes and you're going to learn. And, I didn't really ever understood, like when people would say, oh, fail forward. I didn't really it didn't really hit me what that meant until the past year, honestly. And it's true that every time that you fail, you really are failing forward because you're learning and you're able to adjust and maneuver and change. So you're not even failing. You're just that much closer to getting to where you want to be. So no matter where you are at in life, no matter what, I'll never forget when I went into wanted to be a coach, my parents, who love me very much and they're very, very supportive of me, they were like, Krista, normal people do not leave their profession like they're as doing as well as you are to go do something else. Nobody is ever going to pay you to coach them. And they didn't mean it. They thought they were helping me, right? They love me. They wanted to
exactly.
me. Had I listened to them, I am more fulfilled and happy right now than I ever have been in my entire life because I'm contributing to other people's growth and development. So, people don't always listen to what everyone else says because they don't always know, even the ones that love you.
Absolutely, Krista. And that really makes a lot of sense. And everyone, you just need to understand that people around you will love you, but they don't know exactly who you are. Only you know who you are. And you just need to understand who you are and just get to the right place, right? Which is amazing. Again. Absolutely, Krista. And I genuinely believe like we shouldn't be the person we are if we can't learn from our mistakes. So it's just like a stepping stone for our next success. And again, Krista, thank you so much for this amazing opportunity, and congratulations on being featured on Funnel Hacking Lab 2021. Excited to see you on the stage this September. So excited to be in person if this COVID allows me to. And thank you so much again. And everyone who's watching this, excited for this interview, and thank you so much for watching this right now with Krista. And just join the 2-day event. It will be super awesome as well. And stay tuned for the next episode, guys. And thank you so much, Krista. Peace.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.